I'm going to give you some examples of what the safety problem is and some examples of what not to do at a highway rail grade crossing when the gates start going down. One of the issues that we have is to try to identify the driver behavior and try to correct it, or try to identify countermeasures that would correct it. And you'll see the group of people here waiting. The train just went by, the northbound train went by. The southbound train is actually at the station right here. You can see the headlights. And they just don't wait for the gates to come up because they want to get to that platform and get on their train before their train leaves. So those folks were faced with the decision whether or not to violate and try to catch their train or not violate and miss their train. And this vehicle here actually stopped after the gates and stayed there. Good for them, there was some storage space there, so they were able to stay there while the Amtrak train went by. And I'll just give you one example of a trespass type of incident. You can see this school-aged child. It's about 3:40 in the afternoon, so it's after school. He has his backpack on and he's trying to get home. And a few years ago, it actually used to be a regular grade crossing. They chose to close this grade crossing, so there's no more vehicle traffic, and then they fenced it off. What was created by doing that was a risky trespass area because people find the need to cross at this location. The other nearest location to safely cross is about a quarter mile away. By closing this crossing, you reduce the vehicle risk to zero, but you might actually increase the trespass risk. So what is the overall problem? Every 3 to 4 hours, somebody or something is hit by a train. Most of those don't make the national news. So what do we do here at the Volpe Center to support the Federal Railroad Administration? We partner with them to analyze crash causation and develop safety countermeasure programs and guidance. We do research the root cause of incidents, try to determine what are the factors, and then try to engineer low-cost solutions. We try to involve the communities, several different types of stakeholders, identify corrective actions, and then deploy and evaluate the effectiveness of potential solutions. To put it in perspective, in 1970, there were about 1,400 fatalities at grade crossings. And as I mentioned, in 2012, there were fewer than 300. We started to shift gears a little bit and try to work a lot more with the stakeholders, trying to involve stakeholders from various areas. We developed and implemented and evaluated a trespass prevention system that actually detected and deterred trespassing. We prevented incidents such as this where there were people detected on the bridge, the system worked as it was supposed to, and deterred those folks from venturing out onto the bridge. And for this specific incident, about a minute later, a train did go by that location. The Dynamic Envelope Pavement Markings Project, specifically not having vehicles stop on the tracks when the traffic is backed up. We did install some surveillance equipment at the crossing to look at traffic patterns, looking at different types of zones where vehicles might stop, and then comparing the before and after. Another current project that we are working on, increasing the effectiveness of pedestrian gates. Folks find it very easy to either go under or around these gates. New Jersey Transit did want to try out a prototype. Our study came back with about a 55% effectiveness for this prototype. For the descending phase of the gates, you'd have almost 1 in 10 in 1 in 10 activations somebody violated, and that went down severely. But in the horizontal one, you had 1 in 5. So every fifth gate activation, you'd had somebody who would violate it, and that went down to under 1 in 10. So this effort is trying to estimate the impact or the effectiveness of using LEDs to make the signs more visible and hopefully more compliant. It's a trailer-based data collection device that we use for driver behavior analyses. And right now we're trying to baseline the system so that we can deploy it in the next month or so. The trespass prevention research study that we're doing in the city of West Palm Beach in Florida, that study is trying to eliminate trespass incidents and fatalities, but we're also trying to provide national guidance on trespass mitigation in general. It's called a CARE model, Community Analysis, Response, and Evaluation, where we're trying to implement the best responses and evaluate their impact and effectiveness. We did a risk analysis of their right-of-way through the city to come up with this chart, which just shows to them where their highest risk areas are in terms of trespass, and try to get them to tackle those areas first with the limited resources that they have.